Hello again for another math homework video. And we're moving right along and we're on lesson 2. And lesson 2, we learned, or our objective was to recognize that a digit represents 10 times the value of what it represents in the place to its right. And we called this the 10 times rule. So let's get right to our homework. Question 1, and it says, as you did during the lesson, which we did during concept development and our problem set, we labeled and represented a product, which is the answer to a multiplication problem, or a quotient, which is the answer to a division problem, by drawing discs on the place value chart. And as you can see, the first thing we always do, and we do this on our personal whiteboards when we have our templates, is that we fill in our place value chart with the values for each of the places. And in lesson 1, we went only to the thousands place. But now we're moving to the millions place because we see the pattern. Ones, 10, 100. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. So it's still 1, 10, 100. 1, 10, 100. It's just a different period. This is the thousands period. And when we move to the millions, this is 1 million, and we know that the next place would be 10 million and then 100 million. So once we know the pattern is ones, 1, 10, 100, we can move on to different periods. Or sometimes you call them their last names, but it's a period is the proper mathematical term. Now what we did down here for you to use is a reference point. And this shows us that the tens place is 10 times the ones place. So each, as it said in the beginning, the digit represents 10 times the value of what it represents to its right. So the value of the tens is 10 times the 1, because 1 times 10 is 10. The 10 times rule works this way because 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times 100 is 1,000. 1,000 times 10 is 10,000. 10,000 times 10 is 100,000. And 100,000 times 10 is 1 million. So as we move from one place to another on the place value chart, if it is the same digit, it is 10 times the value to its right. So as we move, we're multiplying by 10s. And that will help us with all of our problems because we have 10 times 4,000s. And the first thing we're going to do is make our 4 thousands. So there are 4 here, but that's 10 times that. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there are 4 groups of 10. Well, then how many thousands is that? And to find that, we would count them individually. Or, since we now can count by 10 pretty easily, we can say 10, 20, 30, 40. We can also, if it's easier, it's easy for me to do this on the computer, make these dots and have them lined up. You can also do them horizontally, 10, 20, 30, 40. So whatever works for you when you're drawing. But please try to make them neat so that we can see that there are really 10 there. So we know that 10 thousands make 10,000. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. So each of these 10 equal 10,000. So 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. So that helps us to understand that 10 times 4,000 thousands gives us 40 thousands. If we count them individually, we know this is 10, 20, 30, 40. So that's 40 thousands. Or if we regroup, it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 thousands. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. Oh, look, 40,000. So they can be regrouped in that sense. And that is the answer. Again, for B, we need to label our place value chart: 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. Now, this is a little different because this is division. So we're going to be going backward. And what is the opposite of multiplication? If we move in this direction to the left, we're multiplying by 10. So if we move in the opposite direction, we're dividing by 10. So if we have 4,000s divided by 10, we have our 4,000s. So we have to move backwards. Well, this 1,000 is how many hundreds? Well, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. So as we know, 10, 20, 30, 40, this group of 100 equals 1,000, this group of 100 equals 1,000, and this group. So we're going in the opposite direction. So 4,000s, if we break, it's kind of opposite regrouping. If we break this into tens, how many will we have? Well, we will have 40 hundreds, 10, 20, 30, 40, because each of these equals a 1,000, and there are 4 of them. So if we count these individually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, we'll count up to 40. 10, 20, 30, 40. So that's 40 hundreds. Divided by 10, instead of 40 hundreds, we could just say there are 4 hundreds. Okay? Now, this is another, just a quick way, as we have been practicing our 10 times rule, is to use unit form and standard form. And these are just terms that are used in this math program, but also in their mathematical terms to be used to. So this is the expression, this is the unit form, and this is the standard form. And we gave you this reference point again. So 10 times 3 tens. So 10 times 3 is 30. So now we have 10 times 3 is 30 tens. So we have 30 tens. If we have 30 tens, that means that's 3 hundreds. Because 10, 20, 30, and we would regroup it into hundreds. 5 hundreds times 10 is 5 times 10. And they're in the hundreds place. So that would be 50 hundreds. And the next place over is the thousands place. So 50 hundreds would be 5,000. Now we have to be careful with the next one because it's division. And this is our division chart where you're going backwards. So 9 10,000s divided by 10, which means we're starting at the 10,000s and we're going backwards. So we're going to divide by 10 and we're going to then move into the thousands place. So 10,000s divided by 10 would be thousands. So that would be 9,000s or 9,000. So that's actually easier to think about. And then 10 times 7 thousands, 10 times 7 is 70. So 70,000s. So since that's a 10, we have to move to the next place. And after the thousands is the 10,000s. So that would be 70,000s. We have another chart here. And instead of just one digit times 10, now we have 2 10s and 1 1. So we have to do each separately. So 2 10s times 10. 10 times 2 is 20. So we would have 20 10s. 1 times 10 is 1. 1. So 10 ones. So 20 10s is the same as 2 hundreds. 10 ones is the same as 10. So that's 210. 5 hundreds and 5 tens. So again, we're going to multiply them separately. 5 times 10 is 50, and we have 50 hundreds. 5 times 10 is 50, and we have 50 tens. So since we have 50, which is a multiple of 10, we're going to change from the hundreds place, and we're going to move over one place to the thousands place. So that's the same as 5,000. 50 tens. Well, if we have 10 tens, we have 100. So that's 500. So we're just moving place values. So now we're going to be moving into the division. We have to be very careful. Oh, this is the wrong page. Oh, that was odd. So anyway, so when we divide, we look at the place and we move to the right. So instead of 2 thousands, we have 2 hundreds because that's the place to the right. Instead of 7 tens, we have 7 ones. So that's 2007 because the 7 is in the ones place. For 10,000s, if we move over from the 10,000s, we end up in the thousands. And 800s, if we move over from the hundreds, we go to the tens. So 4,000 and 8 tens is 4,080. Now our last two problems are word problems, but they are word problems to apply the 10 times rule. So it's saying that Emily collected $950 selling Girl Scout cookies all day Saturday. So that's her $950. Her troop collected 10 times as much, 10 times 10 as much. How much did her troop raise? So T is for troop. So if Emily collected $950 and her troop collected 10 times as much, how much did they earn? Excuse me. We can change 950 to 900s and 50 and, well, 5 tens. So 900s and 5 tens times 10. And as we did with the previous chart, 900s times 10 is 90 hundreds, and 5 10 times 10 is 50 tens. So we have to regroup. We know that 90 hundreds, if we move over into the thousands place, that would be 9,000. And 50 tens, if we move over a place, that would be 5 hundreds. So Emily's troop raised $9,500 selling cookies. Go troop. Now this is a comparison. On Saturday, Emily made 10 times as much as Monday. So this is a division problem because we're making it smaller. So Saturday, she earned $950. That's awesome. But that's 10 times more than she earned on Monday. So if we take Saturday and we divide it by 10, we'll get our answer. So Monday is Saturday divided by 10. And if we reverse this, because multiplication is the opposite, multiplication and division are inverse operations, Saturday is Monday times 10. So that's a way to check our answer. So Saturday is 950. And we're dividing it. So 950 divided by 10. So we're making our expression 900s, 5 tens divided by 10. Well, if we change from the hundreds place and we move over, we're moving into the tens. And instead of the tens, we move into the ones. So 9 tens and 5 ones is 95. So Emily collected $95 on Monday. And that is our homework. And it is exactly the same as our problem set. The numbers might be different, but we did practice all of these, and some of the numbers were actually exactly the same. So I hope this video helped you and that your homework didn't take you too long. And if you still have any problems or questions, or if you don't understand, please tell Mrs. Crosby and myself so that we can go over this and review it and make sure that everybody understands, because this is the foundation for future lessons. And if you don't understand this 10 times rule, it just makes each future lesson a little more difficult. So we want to make sure that we all understand what's happening, and it's all new. So there's nothing wrong with saying you don't understand, because it's important to understand and know what you're learning. Okay? So we'll see you tomorrow at school. Bye-bye.